We're doing it. We're doing it. Right. Okie dokie. So, we're going to start. going to start with some squat explorations. So, coming up to standing, go as wide as you need. I'm going to turn around so you can see. Go as wide as you need to be able to squat down to a full squat at the bottom with the heels down. If you can't get there, that's absolutely fine. Go as deep as you can. Yeah, so you can kind of, if I turn this way, you can kind of see my butt's hovering a little bit at the moment as I just kind of settle down into the squat. So we've got what we've got, and then I'm just rocking from side to side. So you can see I'm lifting one heel up, dropping it down, lifting the opposite heel up, just working around in the squat position. For some of us who've not got a full squat anymore, because we've lost that mobility through whatever, hips, upper back, etc., doesn't really matter. You're going to find that when you come into a squat, your chest is kind of wanting to drop to the floor. So see if you can pick your chest up. And if that means having one heel up or being a bit higher, but see if you can get up nice and tall. Again, I'm just working around at the bottom of the squat, playing with foot position, turning it out, turning my feet in a little bit. Just exploring as a way of opening the hips and the upper back to a certain extent. And I'm just having a wiggle here at the bottom. And then pause in the middle. And if you feel it's just going to be that little bit too much to come out of this, to stand up, use your hands to help you just kind of come out of the bottom of that hole. Just give your legs a bit of a break. Then we're going to sink back down again and do some rotations up to the sky. So same thing, come down. If you want your heels up, have your heels up, or just have one up. So it's kind of like a half squat, if you like. Just take some of the pressure off, or bring both heels down and see what it feels like to come into a rotation. So you're going to plant one hand down and lift the opposite hand to the sky. And then switching sides. And as I switch sides, I'm kind of lifting the same heel. So the hand that's on the floor, I'm lifting that heel up. You can keep your heels down. It's just a bit beyond me this morning. I just need that little bit of extra support. So I'm lifting the heel and opening. And switching sides. This time I'm going to keep the opposite heel down, just out of interest, see how far I can go. Not so bad. And try the other side. Horrendous. And then come back to that little bit of an exploration. Lifting the chest again. I'm using my elbows now to push my knees apart. I'm checking in with my arches and making sure I'm not collapsing through my feet, which is my preferred option. My feet like to collapse in the bottom of the squat. I'm constantly watching for that. And then again, if you need to, just use your hands to give you that little bit of a shove out of the bottom of that, because we've been down there quite a while. Give your legs a little bit of a wiggle. And then on this next one, we're going to start walking out into planks. So we'll do some planks, we'll come up into 90-90s, all that kind of stuff. So your choice, you can come down into your goblin squat, which is with the heels up, or you can keep your heels down. I'm going to choose to come up with the heels this time, just out of interest, something different. So same as usual, squatting down, either heels down, heels up, your choice. Knees nice and wide. Let's take a rotation there. And again on the opposite side. Then walk out to your plank position. Piece of steel, head to heel, one long line. Just pause in there before we go knee to elbow. So knee to elbow, return, knee to elbow, return. So switching sides, we're going to do a few. You're mindful mountain climbers. Keeping everything else nice and still. Just the knee moving to the elbow. And then aim for the outside of the elbow. So higher up on the arm if you can. Switching sides. Let's go two more, one each side. And then from there, lower the chest to the floor with as much control as you can. Bring the arms around, palms up on your lower back. Feet about hip distance apart. Let the elbows drop towards the mat. Lift the elbows up, lift the arms up, swim the arms around, try not to hit the wall. Thumbs up, and then we take our 4-point lift there. So Superwoman, arms and legs lift, arms and legs very active, but keep the space between your shoulders and your ears. So long neck, free neck. We're going to hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and we'll lower down. We'll take our cobra, so bring the hands somewhat closer. Your choice. The closer your hands are, the higher your cobra. So you choose here. One nice cobra, stretching out the front line of the body, and then lower it down. Bring the hands under the shoulders so you can come up into your 90-90. So whichever leg, I'm going to go right leg coming over. So left leg comes my front leg, right leg is my, no, opposite side. Left is back, right is front. Take the rotation there. Spider running past. And then coming all the way back down to the mat. We'll switch sides. And now I'm doing right leg coming over. You have to excuse the left and right this morning as well. My brain is fuzzy. And then release, coming back over. We're going to do it again. Come back over, and this time take your shin box. Yeah, so shin box, bring your feet a little bit closer. And then from there, we're going to take a push-up position over the front shin. So one hand in front of the foot, one hand in front of the knee, and you're going to take your chest towards the floor, forward and down. Just taking the stretch there into the glute. Little push-ups, shin box push-up. There's no weight really in the arms. The work's coming from gravity, really pulling you forward, but you get the idea. And go one more. And then back to your 90-90 position. So you're just opening the legs a little bit. Back down to the mat and then up and over onto the other side. You arrive, you take your shin box, you plant the hand, one in front of the knee, one in front of the foot or thereabouts, and your chest is coming forward and over that front shin. Little push-ups. Each time I'm just aiming to get my chest further forward. Try not to reach too much with my chin, which I've just caught myself doing. I was like, oh, make it look impressive. Reach with the chin, reach with your chest forward. I'll do 2 more. And last one. And then same again, come back to your 90-90, then take it over onto the mat. Use the hands to push you back through all 4s, nice and wide with the feet. Come back to your goblin squat. So we're here at the bottom with the heels up, and we're just going to take that rounding and opening. So if you can, drop your heels to the floor and round. So backs of the palms, well, backs of the hands, I should say, together. Rounding forward. And then as you open the chest, lift the heels up, open the knees wide, open the arms wide, palms up, chest up, chin up. Eyes big, open, reach the arms out as far as you can, stretch the legs as far as you can, and then release. Bring the heels back down if you can, you don't need to, but we're going to walk back out to our plank. So walking back out to plank. Bring the feet in a little bit, so you're back to a hip distance apart with the feet. And then we're going to do our rotation from here. So we did this the other day, I can't remember which day it was, it might be Friday, but we're not coming over into a side plank, we're just taking our rotation. So if we went right arm, we want right arm up to the sky, so you're twisting up, but once you arrive here, got to drop your right hip bone back down towards the floor, yeah? So your pelvis is going to want to go with you to do this rotation. You want to drop your right hip bone back towards the floor so you feel more twist. I hope that makes sense. And then release the hand back down. Same on the other side, except that when you take the left arm to the ceiling, your pelvis is going to go with you. That's okay. And then turn the pelvis back down towards the floor. So I'm trying to point my hip bones back down towards the floor. And then releasing the arm back down. And from there, same again, lower the chest to the floor. We'll take our Superwoman, so hands behind the back, elbows to the mat, elbows lift, swim the arms around, and as the arms arrive, lift the legs as well. Come up into Superwoman, reaching the arms, reaching the legs, and we hold for 3, for 2, for 1, and then lower everything back down. Take your Cobra, so hands come a little bit closer. Legs are still nice and active. You can feel, if you wish, you want to pull the floor towards you with your hands. You might feel a more, I don't know, an more intense stretch down the front of the body. And then release back down, and we do our 90-90. So whichever way, I'm going left leg up and over. I'm coming to the 90-90 this time and pausing there, and I'm going to lean away from that leg, the back leg, so I can lift it up. So we're going to take our pushbacks here. So working from the thigh bone, move it back in the hip socket. If you need to kickstand the hand, that's okay. You'll find you've got more movement if you kickstand and lean further away. Otherwise, if you can stay more upright, that's good too. I just need to flick this spider away because he's only a little one and he's very airy-fairy. I could just about cope with that, but if he comes any closer, I'll be off down the street. In fact, the one that was here on Friday, is that gone? I'm pathetic. Last 2. And then lower that leg down and we go back to the mat, over to the other side. You find your 90-90. You lean as much as you need to lift your back leg up and then pushing back. The focus is very much on the back. It's hip extension. It's the movement you need for your running. It's the movement you need for your walking. It's the movement that we all lose. You want to feel that glute working on that side. Nice and bunched. It should be working and tight. And by tight, I mean like, you know, working solid. Last 3, last 2, last 1, and release. And from there, you're just going to come down onto your elbow. If you want to turn over, if you're not facing the camera, that's fine. You're just coming into a side plank on the elbow. So we're going to play with leg movements. At any point, if the leg movements are not up your street this morning, for whatever reason, they might not even be up my street, by all means, just hold the side plank and come in and out of it as you need to. But otherwise, lift the hips up. And we're going to hold for a moment here. I'm just going to see how it feels to hold. And then we're going to do the lift and lowers to start with. So you're going to lower the hips down. Essentially, you just tap in the side of your thigh and then lifting back up. So it should be a very soft landing. Lift and lower. In other words, I'm not resting at the bottom. So I'm not landing and holding, letting the tension go. I'm keeping the tension as I lift and lower. I'm going to go 2 more. Last one. And release. And then we're going to switch sides. So straight over to the other side. Stagger your feet. Top one in front. Once we're all there, same again, lifting on this side and hold. So essentially the hold, you're just checking in. Neck should be free. Shoulder over elbow. Chest open to the front. Try not to let your chest rotate forward, unless you're meaning to do that. All right, and then we go lift and lower. Let's go 3 more. 2. And last one, and release. Very good. And then we switch it sides. This is where we start adding the leg movements. So I'm going to make it top leg only. I'm going to do a marching movement, or knee to chest, however you want to describe it. So same thing. When we're ready, lift the hips up. Get organized. Top hand can be on your hip or wherever feels kind of comfortable. And then from there, picking up the top leg, just hover it off the floor, and then bend it towards the chest and back down. Towards the chest and back down. Last 3. And last one. and release everything down. Nicely done. If you manage the 8, very good. Switch your size, however many you do, that's good. Leg movements in that position, not exactly easy. So same thing, over we go, up we go even. Make sure you're in a good position before you start. Take the top leg up and then bend and stretch. Last 3, last 2, and last one. Nicely done, chaps. And lower the hips down. Very good. All right, so where are we at? Coming over on all fours. We'll take our activation here. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, toes tucked. Push the floor away so the shoulder blades are wide. And when you're ready, push down to hover the knees just an inch off the floor. And hold and breathe. That's 3, last 2, and last one, and then lower the knees back down. And then from there, we're going to take our loaded beast. So it's up to you. You can either, I'm kind of turning sideways a little bit. So you can either hover the knees here and then take the hips back and walk the arms away. Or you can set up in this position and then hover the knees, your choice. But from there, we're going to take our giant step forward into our long lunge position. So let's go right leg a step forward, outside hand nice and wide. So we've got this lovely long position, lots of space to be able to move. And then from there, we're going to take our rotation again. So if it's the right leg that's forward, it's the right arm that goes up to the sky. And just hold and breathe. See how far you can rotate. And then as per usual, we're going to take the elbow down to the floor. Maybe it gets there, maybe it doesn't. And wherever it gets to is fine, you just hold in. Trying to sink deeper each time. And then plant the hand back where it was. And we're going to step back to our loaded beast. So the leg steps back. As it lands, you come all the way back. The knees are hovering. And we go again on the left side. So left step forward, nice big movement. Once we arrive, we're going to take the rotation up to the sky. And then release, and then aim for the elbow coming down, and wherever it gets to is fine. You just hold in and trying to sink that little bit deeper. So you don't have to be still when I say hold. You can kind of wiggle and see if you can find a better position where you can just sink that little bit lower. And then we're going to step back to loaded beast from there. And then from there, we're going to go straight into our unload. So tucking the chin, tucking the tail, keep the knees an inch away from the floor. Nice and steady coming forward. The knees will not straighten. Your shoulders may come past your wrists, but you're tucked under. You've got this right. There should be a lot of tension in the abs. Should be feeling like a lower ab workout. And then to go back, you go just exactly the way you came. You take it straight back. Same again, we're going to unload. Curl the tail, curl the chin to the chest, knees stay low to the ground. When you arrive, glutes are tight, so squeeze your butt cheeks, tucking the tail as much as I can. Neck is long, the chin is still to chest. And then we reverse back exactly the same way. Step forward with the right leg, just as we did before. Take your rotation up to the sky. Take the elbow to the floor. Step back to loaded beast. Left leg step forward. Take your rotation there. Take the elbow to the floor. Step back to loaded beast. We go straight into our unload. Unload from there, nice and slow. Count to 4 or 5. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Zip it back. Step forward on the right. Take your rotation. Elbow to the floor. Step it back to loaded beast. Step forward on the left. Take your rotation. Elbow to floor. Step back to loaded beast. Unload. Knees stay low. Hold 3, 2, 1. Take it back. Step forward on the right. We've just got one more round to do. Take your rotation. Elbow to the floor. Step it back through loaded beast. Left side. Rotate. Elbow to the floor. Take it back to loaded beast. Unload. 3, 2, 1. Take it back. Lower the knees. Breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, coming straight up for some lunges. Let's get rid of the mat. Forward and back lunges. So let's move the right leg. So left foot's going to stay where it is. Step forward with the right. Find a good lunge position. Get your balance, all that kind of good stuff. Lunge as per usual. Lunge. I'm going to push back to balance with the right leg. So we're back to standing leg balance on the right. Then I'm hoping I've got room here. I'm going to step back with the right leg then. So back with the right leg. Another lunge position. Lunge. Single leg balance. Just checking in for the first few, nice and steady, so you know you've got your balance. Step forward with the right leg, she says, falling over, and take your lunge. Step back to your balance. Step back with the right leg. Take a lunge. Step forward to balance, and then forward to lunge. Back to balance, back to lunge. And I'm just going to let you work through them, your own speed, because if you're working on the balance in the middle, that's fine. If you're working on slowing down the lunge, so you've got a decent position before you go, that's fine too. If you're balancing all of those movements, you can make it flow a little bit more. But that's not me this morning. This morning, I am breathing heavily, snotty and choppy with my movement, but there you go. A couple more, wherever you are in here. Switching sides on the last one. Okay, so switching sides. So right foot's going to stay still, left leg's going to move. So go forward first. Find your lunge position, take your lunge. Step back, even if you need a half step to balance. And then step back to your lunge. And work your way through it. You know what you're doing. It's not rocket science, is it? So for me on this side, I need to work on powering out of my front lunge. I don't seem to be able to get back to single leg balance without a half step or the use of my arms. So eventually you want to work to the point where you don't need, like if you watch me now, you see my arms kind of fling to get me up. And try and keep the arms nice and still, relaxed. Ooh, nearly. I met that your last one, wherever you are. All right, finishing off with our pretzel, coming down to the floor. As usual, holding the top knee, bottom ankle, pull the bottom leg back, and then opening the chest to the sky. See if you can drop the foot to the floor and the knee. So top knee, bottom foot. And on every out breath, you're just trying to encourage the body to go that little bit further. You've been here a while now, just see if you can pull that bottom leg any further back just to bring on the stretch in the quad of the hip flexor. If you're not feeling much stretch, see if you can curl the tailbone under. So tilting the pelvis to bring on the stretch again in the front of the thigh. And then slowly release. So just a bit longer hold for us this morning, just adding on slightly to this one, seeing as we've been doing it for so long. So same again on the other side, grabbing hold of the ankle. If you find your ankle, I find my hand slipping. If you've got hold of your ankle, you can flex your foot, which stops your hand sliding off it. So it means you've got an active foot as well. So flex at the ankle if you can. Pull that bottom leg out of the way. And then twist to open. And using the out breath just to encourage the body to open that a little bit more. Being here a while again, just see if you can inch that bottom leg that little bit further back. See if you can tuck your tail under. You tuck your tail, you should find that stretch in the front of the bottom thigh comes on again. If it ever left, it might not have ever left you. And then slowly unravel. And breathe a sigh of relief. That we are done. Well done, chaps. We all okay? Mirebella's wiping her forehead of sweat. It was a good one then, I could tell. I need to sweat my cold out of me, so. Right, chaps, yeah, you're welcome, no problem. I will see you tomorrow morning, unless this gets worse, but I don't think it will. I think it's just a cold. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.